Stocking stuffers. Stocking stuffers.
Stocking stuffers.
Stocking stuffers.
Stocking stuffers. Stocking stuffers.
Stocking stuffers.
How's it going?
Okay, this is our Christmas show, eh?
Yeah.
So like that's our
There's
top.
our Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Tribute Lounge. I'm Mark Fawcett.
And I'm Shane Johnson.
And on today's show, our top picks for stocking stuffers.
Well, the top stocking stuffers for the snowboarder in your household. Some people are struggling. What do I get them? Even though some of these things might be a double, a lot of what we have here, anybody's going to be stoked to get this Christmas morning. And we really wanted to just, help the families out, give you a little bit of insight from the retail store upstairs. And speaking of that, TRIBUTEBOARDSHOP.com or .ca, any of our great friends to the south in the US, if anyone wants to order from us, we're stoked. We're super stoked. But call us first. We've been having a little bit of shipping issues with our website. If you've ordered already, you know it got a little bit tricky. Sometimes it was going to you for free. It's not for free. It costs a lot of money to ship
And the
from
tax
Nelson,
thing.
the tax
and the
thing.
tax
So
thing is way simpler to
give
deal
us a
with.
quick buzz, and we want to talk to anybody. We'll talk to you guys anyway. So that'd
Old
be rad.
school. That was my favorite thing when I used to order skate decks from Calgary.
Exactly.
Talk to them.
Exactly. So give us a buzz first. Again, thanks for all the subscriptions we've had. It's been amazing. We know we're about 50-50 Canada, US, which is super awesome. And keep the comments coming. Let us know what you guys want to see. And also follow us over on Patreon. That'll be linked below as well. And there's going to be some secret carving clinics potentially happening with Mark in that.
Now, before we drop into this episode, we want to give a huge shout out to BALDFACE Lodge. Thanks so much for supporting this season, and we want to show you, the viewers at home, a few clips of what it's like on an average day shredding that magical zone.
Without further ado, let's get into this. We kind of curated this from upstairs, being the things. I mean, I'd be stoked to get any of this, but a lot of these are, you can double up a lot of this stuff for the snowboarder in your household, and
Or more even. Things
or
like,
more.
I'm going to just go into it because it's right here.
Yeah.
You can
Let's
never
start
have
there.
too many flavors of
Exactly.
wax. You can never have too many flavors of wax. So obviously wax is temperature dependent, the performance waxes anyway. Cold, mid-range, really warm. And then our friends at
One
Ball
Ball
J, Matt Cummins, great dude. They make great wax, and his dad is a biochemist and broke down like all the top waxes. So it wasn't something that they just formulated really like from scratch. They were able to get a jump start by
this
seeing
is
what
good
the
stuff.
high-tech stuff was. So like, even though it's got a funny name, the One Ball stuff is great. We use it at the shop. I race with it even sometimes.
Yep.
And just such an easy, perfect little one for your snowboarder in your house.
So with wax, they're also going to need an iron. So One Ball also comes with, or doesn't come with, but you can purchase on top one of their amazing irons. Flat iron, yes, you can go and buy one from the Salvation Army from the 70s, and it's porous, and sometimes it's scratchy and edgy, and it's going to beat up your board.
Not flat.
Yes,
That's
and
the
they're
big thing.
definitely not flat.
Yep.
So they can do more damage than good. So if you can, these are under $100. They're super inexpensive, and that's in Canadian. So definitely look into that too. That's
Rounded edges too. Like that's the
Exactly.
part that
Yeah.
scratches boards, and ones with like really sharp
Exactly.
edges.
yeah. So that's kind of gift number one. Gift number two is in Fawcett's hand there, and hot box. So any kind of heating, anything that you can throw in your gloves, throw in your boots. These are amazing. These are little gel packs about that big. You crack the little metal cylinder inside, boom, there's a chemical reaction, and that gets hot. And it's no joke. And they're reusable.
That's the big thing. Reusable. You just boil them up that night, what have you, in some boiling water on a pot, and they come totally back to life. Pretty amazing, because I know those those little beanbaggy ones, like they're convenient, but they're not so great for the environment.
No, and
Especially all the ones
yeah,
we see blown up all over the place in the
exactly.
slope.
So we really support the folks at Hot Puck. Those are fantastic. Moving on, another thing, and this is a huge safety item. This is one of two things we're going to have from the amazing dudes at Salmon Arms, but any Fox 40 whistle. These are crazy loud. You want to hang it somewhere in the vicinity of here, because if you're ever in a tree well or anything like that, this is a lifesaver. This is a big deal.
This is the insurance piece that the likelihood of it happening is much less if you buy it.
That's right.
Because if you don't buy it, then you're going to find yourself in that bad position going, damn, I wish I had that whistle.
So mom and dad, that's a good one for the kids, especially if they're doing slack country, anything like that. These are loud. These are great. Definitely get one of those.
For sure.
Yeah. What do we have here?
Crab grabs, skate rails. So coming from skateboarding, but instead of on the bottom, you put them on the top. But it does. Like, you can. It's
good for grabbing your methods.
You can like
Oh, yeah.
feel it. Like you really can. Like when you grab a lot of different stuff, mostly between your legs, of course. You can stick them wherever you want on the top of your board. Also, I find in the middle, my foot. Now it's not like a full traction pad, but my
it
toes
still
won't
will
slide.
act exactly.
Yeah, and my toes won't slide off to the toes, and my heel won't slide off to the heel, and they weigh nothing. And they're pretty cool.
We'll file that in the stomp pad category
Yeah.
because Crab Grab also makes killer stomp pads. The Scromper's another one we should have grabbed from upstairs, but yeah, amazing company, worth supporting those guys for sure. Moving on, probably the number one item for Christmas
For sure.
is going to be your socks. Now, we brought down Merino Blend. Both of us are big fans of Merino. Basically, if this ever gets wet, it's still retaining heat. That's the one advantage of merino wool over just going with a poly. A poly, if it does get really wet, you are going to lose heat quicker, and that could be bad news, hypothermic, anything like that. So when it comes to your feet, the weight to warmth ratio, these are thin, but you wouldn't believe how warm they are. So they're going to fit your boot really, really well. They're not going to bunch up. The stance are contoured really nice in the top of the forefoot, so nothing's bunching there. Same with the Jones and 32 collabs here. So
I really like the arch support in the stances.
Yeah, it
so
is.
if you get their performance ones, they like it almost feels like your foot is wrapped and taped and like great feel. You don't have that collapsing that's going to happen through the day.
Too.
Yeah, they're very
proper heel
form
pocket.
fitted for sure.
So that's probably the easiest one we have on the table.
And
obviously.
again, like if you're person in your household, your snowboarder is shredding 5 days a week, I mean they need multiple pairs of socks. I have a whole drawer full of socks. I mean I snowboard 120 days a year plus, so like literally a drawer full.
It's true. And the other thing is try not to wear them to work. Wear them for
No,
snowboarding.
it's just for
Don't
snowboarding.
break them down too early. So moving on to, this is kind of the more premium side of things. The one thing I always say upstairs when somebody comes in and they're coming in to buy a package, the two most important things you buy are your boots and your goggles, because that's your interface to the board, your boots. But if you can't see, you're having a terrible day. Right away, if you're fogging up or if it's scratched up or if you're, don't cheap out on these. That being said, we grabbed two that you could throw in a stocking. They're 100 or 130-ish with this Oakley. But goggles, our friends at Dragon, $100 here. Amazing peripherals, killer goggle, one lens. This is gonna do 90% of the riding, no problem. And same with the Oakley. These are just something that every rider needs a couple of. You can't just have one goggle.
Yeah, I always have an extra set in my gear bag. Even touring, I carry an extra set often. This Oakley comes with two lenses, actually, for
That's
135.
right, that's why it's 130, yeah, there we
Yep.
go. So that's, I mean, somebody's gonna be really, really excited opening up the stocking, pulling that guy out. That's
Yeah,
a great
even if
price.
they have goggles, even if you've seen goggles on their head, they're gonna love having a second set.
Yeah. Another thing we all need two of.
Again, I have a drawer full.
Yeah. Well, if you get super soaked one day, you're moving on to the spare 2 pairs or whatever for the next day.
Yeah, I'll burn through 3 pairs of gloves on like 2 consecutive like wet, snowy days.
Yep.
There's like 3 sets of gloves gone. And then if I'm going that 3rd day, I'm into my 4th pair.
So Salmon Arms, amazing Canadian homies of ours. We love this stuff. Crab Grab, also just a great brand. Whatever you're choosing, just make sure it's the right size. Make sure it's. I like the triggers. Some people want mitts. Some people want gloves. Just know the snowboarder in your house to know which one it is. Most of us have been into the mitts lately. It's warmer. I'm not fiddling with bindings all the time like we used to be. So
Exactly.
it doesn't matter as much. And you do stay warmer with a mitt. Everything's together. You can clinch your hand inside. Good to go.
100%.
Yeah. What else do we have to do?
We got headwear
Headwear.
of various sorts.
So our homies at Cole, big supporters of the shop. We love everything these guys do. This poly that they've done for the beanies, I freaking love this. It packs nice, super warm. The colors the last couple of years have been fantastic. Again, easy in the stocking and something we need a lot of. This is in my touring pack. It's on my head. I've got an extra one. And then that becomes one of my most important things when touring, or even just riding the hill. You're on the chairlift getting beat up by hail or who knows
Yeah.
what. Balaclava.
And I wear balaclavas under a hat and under a helmet.
Yeah.
So it's multi-purpose for me. This whole last week I was on snow, I had a balaclava with a hat and goggles on top, and everything stayed together really well. Back of the neck stays really warm, neck, the works. I'm a huge fan of balaclavas. I know some people aren't into them. If you have like older school helmets that fit really tight, but most of the helmets these days are actually designed to have a little bit of something over top of your head, and then it cinches down in.
Exactly, yeah, and those, they vent really well around the face. You're not icing up anymore like the old style. And like Mark said, this is going to work with 90% of the helmets out there, and it's chairlift warmth is on top of everything
Marquee,
else.
for sure.
But I've got one stashed in a skin pocket if I'm just riding resort. I've got a spare one of these. I definitely have a spare beanie happening, and we've always got spare gloves. These are either in the car or on your backpack.
Yep.
Now, another thing from some of my favorite homies ever at Air Blaster, we've got the ninja suit. The ninja suit is paramount to the start of every day. I get out of bed and the ninja suit goes on. Fozzie, booyah. And we present the ninja suit from Air Blaster. This one is the poly blend that I love. The one time I'm not a massive merino wool guy is when it is my first layer. I get hot. It's hot. You do need it, and I do love it, and they do make it, but this is the poly version that I freaking love. I go hoodless, like Fozzie's wearing right now. Don't need the hood all the time, because as we discussed, I'm usually packing a couple of these with me anyway. This becomes my hood. But Mark, you tend to wear those almost all the time. That's your race suit, is it not?
Yeah. Yeah.
GS,
Definitely used to wear
in the suit.
really
right?
similar one. Yeah, it was all spandex and rubber, but yeah. And what's so nice is just not having your back get cold when you bend over, whether it's doing up your bindings, some sort of funny fall, like not having that back exposed is great.
Well, no powder down your butt crack. That's kind of key. Now, it does have a zipper, so if you have an emergency in the backcountry, you can deal with that. And
It's
for the
like-
ladies, it fully separates too. The women's
It's probably
ninja suit,
80%. It's even more than 3/4. It starts just inside your hip bones and goes
half
all the way
clams and
around.
opens.
Yep.
No, it's good. That's going to be the most premium price of everything we've shown today. They're around 150 Canadian, but absolutely worth it. We all have one.
Epic stocking stuff.
Every snowboarder needs one of those.
For sure.
For sure. And then last on our list, we all need to hydrate, not just beer. Polar makes a great, everybody makes one of these. Mizu, there's a ton of brands out there, but I brought the Polar one down. I really dig these guys. It's cool. This is not going to freeze. Make sure you're getting a semi-insulated or insulated one. You don't want the water freezing.
100%.
Boom, that big ice chunk to the teeth. That's not helping anybody. But this is yet another stocking stuffer that the rider's going to have in his pack.
I put tea in it.
Yeah,
Not
tea.
like even scalding hot, just like lukewarm tea, and it stays like that for like the whole morning. Just easy drinking.
Absolutely. So yeah, we just wanted to offer you guys a few insights on things that we see upstairs that really help figure out what to get the snowboarder in the house for Christmas, especially stocking stuffers. These are all tiny things that we can fit into the stockings. Good to go there. Fozzie, what else do you want to offer here?
I mean, you've nailed it.
It's the Christmas special.
You've nailed it. I would literally do 2 pairs of socks, even
yeah.
to be
Oh,
honest. That'd be one you can't overdo the socks. These are great. Same thing with the hats. People lose them at parties and all sorts of stuff. I burn through a lot of hats in a season.
And there's companies, I mean, all these brands are phenomenal. They've been with Tribute since mostly day one. We've sold all this stuff. Stand behind all of it. And most of this you can find on the website. So please hit us up through there. Hit us up in the comments for anything else you want to add to this show or any of the other shows. There's more amazing guests on the way. Like I said, the Patreon, we're going to figure out the clinic, but please sign up to the Patreon. That helps us out a lot here. And happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all of those things. We're excited to get that rolling. Probably have 2 or 3 more episodes coming this year, and then we're going to kick into all of the new gear coming for 2025 in about 2 months or so. So stay tuned for that, too.
Looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
Shred season is upon us.
Right on, everybody. Well, happy holidays and go boarding.